G'day guys, welcome back to the podcast. On this week's ep we have a very special guest, Oakley Chargers finest, Will Phillips. Will, you want to give us a bit of backstory on yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I started playing footy when I was a very young boy. Loved it all the way through. Played at Beverly Hills Junior Footy Club in the YJFL right up to about under 15s. Go to Corfu Grammar. Gone there since year 7, and that's loved that experience. Played for the Oakley Chargers. Got a mum and dad. Got a sister who's 20, and got a dog named Digger and a cat named Peanut.
So main question on the podcast is, what got you into footy and at what age?
Well, I was about 3 or 4. I can remember vaguely running around the lounge room, just kicking the footy around, pretending that it was a real AFL match. So I guess I've just been bred into a footy family. So my grandfather was a Collingwood supporter, and so was my other grandfather. But yeah, my dad and my mum and sister were all passionate Collingwood supporters. Well, at the moment, probably not for long, but yeah. So I've been bred into that family and just carried all the way through. I guess my passion to get the most out of myself and be the best player has developed throughout my time playing footy. And yeah, as I said, I've loved every experience. So yeah, that's where that comes from.
So you played your juniors footy at Beverly Hill Junior Football Club. What was that like?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a great club. A lot of great people around that club. They were really good in supporting me and my growth right all the way through. Yeah, a man named Anthony Phillips was the club president when I was there in the early juniors. And then he ended up coaching me, and he's been a bit of a role model and a bit of a guru for me to help me along the way. So yeah, as I said, there's a lot of great people at that club. Won a couple of premierships, won one in overtime, which was very special. But yeah, it's the whole Beverly Hills close to my heart. It's a great club to be at. So, yeah.
So obviously juniors. Do you have any favourite memories as such, or favourite moments playing footy throughout your career?
Yeah, do up until now, or do you mean earlier?
Or whenever.
Yeah, I mean the one that stands out is probably the APS premiership last year in which I played for my school, Corfu Grammar, in the APS, and yeah, that was really special. Formed an amazingly close bond with so many of my teammates, and being so passionate about my school and about what the school's done for me has helped me to form those connections. And I guess I was just so grateful to be a part of that squad, and then to get the chocolates in the end was really special. Although we did lose the last game to Carey, and we tied the premiership, it was still a remarkable season, and no one would have thought that we would have gone that way. So yeah, that was really special. And as I mentioned, won a grand final in overtime when I was younger. That was pretty special, by 4 points. So yeah, really grateful for those experiences. And there's been heaps of great memories. And the Chargers premiership, which was today last year, I think, or around this time. But yeah, that was special too.
Growing up, did you have any admire anyone, say not just in the AFL industry, but anyone in general?
Yeah, this guy. I'm wearing a LeBron James jersey. He's pretty good. No, I was actually a big Kobe fan. So from an early age, I started following the Lakers because of Kobe, and then obviously, yeah, I think the last couple of years I've grown closer to him because of what happened, and just I guess my motivation to make it to the top, to the league. I tried to adopt a lot of his routines and habits and mannerisms. So he's been a big influence. Probably my dad as well. He's probably one of the strongest men that I know. As a lot of kids look up to their dads. So they're probably two that stand out. But I've just been so fortunate to be surrounded by such great people, and I'm extremely grateful for that.
So what was it like? You just mentioned playing once at Caulfield Grammar. What was that like?
it's amazing. Probably, I guess APS footy, they say, is the most fun to play out of any footy because you spend all day with your mates. And, they're your schoolmates, so it's probably the closest that you'll get to playing at an AFL club, in which you spend all day together as well. So, and this school does a really good job in investing a lot into the footy program. And I'm grateful for that because it's helped me to develop as a person a lot. And as I said, those connections, those lifelong connections will remain. So there's been a lot of good things to come out of that. But it's a shame this year was shit. Didn't probably get the year we wanted, and we were probably favourites for the premiership as well, but didn't go our way. But those memories will still remain from the previous years. So I'm very grateful for that.
So you were selected to play with the Oakley Chargers. What was that like to, I guess, play in such a successful team?
Yeah, it was awesome. The likes of Matt Rao, Noah Anderson, Dill Williams, Lockie Johnson, those guys, they're absolute superstars. So, that was an amazing experience. They're obviously going pretty well in the AFL these days, and there was a lot of talent in that team. And it's interesting with Oakley because we all come from different areas and different schools. Well, not different areas, we all live in the same area, but we come from different schools as opposed to a lot of the other NAB League teams. So for us to all connect at the end, we sort of connected a little bit at the start and then went off to our school teams and then came back and connected at the end, and to come together and put that, connect that closely and put that all together was really special. And as I mentioned, it was about last year that we won the premiership, and those memories are popping up these over the last few days. So it's pretty special, and very grateful for that as well. The coaching staff there are really supportive, and the AFL does a great job at making sure the NAB League's got high quality coaching and support networks around it. That might be a compromise in the next few years, which is a shame, but very grateful for that.
So you just mentioned playing in the NAB League Grand Final. What was that like? And I guess to play in front of a fair few people, what was that like?
Yeah, well, I played in two actually. Well, the first one was TAC Cup. It was called TAC Cup back then, but the first one was I was double bottom Asian, and that was in that team I was the 23rd man. I probably didn't get it was a really good experience, and I sort of came in late to the program, so my connection wasn't as strong then, but that was a wonderful learning experience for me because it was probably the first time that I was exposed to the closest you can get to AFL footy, apart from probably VFL. And we ended up losing that grand final, which was a shame, but to run out on grand final day was just amazing. And then obviously last year we got over Eastern, and that was really special. We were probably favourites all the way going through, but to put together a performance like that on grand final day was unbelievable, and to watch Matt Rao go to work, that was really special as well. And not surprised that nothing's changed when he's entered the AFL. To have an influence on that game, I probably didn't have my best game, but that wasn't a concern for me. I was just happy to get the win with the boys, and it was good to celebrate afterwards, and all those memories are popping up now. So, and again, we probably would have gone back to back and won it again this year. We were probably clear favourites, but that's the way it's panned out.
So you were selected to play for Vic Metro, the NAB AFL Under-16 National Championships. What was that like?
Yeah, it was a great experience and a great learning experience for me. It was sorry, were you talking about under 18s or under 16s?
Oh, under 18s, sorry.
So I played one game last year. I only got a chance to play one game, but it was as I said, it was a great experience. It was probably the highest level of footy I played at in terms of talent. And I got exposed to a number of roles in that team. Obviously, I wasn't going to get thrown into the midfield, considering how strong some of the other top age mids were. So just to be there was was a blessing, and yeah, I took a lot out of that in terms of my personal growth as a player and a person. So, and yeah, again this year we probably would have had a strong team, but you know that's the way it's gone. But yeah, very blessed for those experiences.
So you were selected to play in the NAB League under 17s All Star. Like, what was that like for an experience? I suppose playing with like some of the best players in like the NAB competition.
Yeah, it was pretty good. You know, those games, it's hard to. You know, those games are often for performance and for blokes to try and get themselves out there and show what they got, and it's more of a talent ID game. But what was really special about that was how everyone sort of came together and formed close connections, and there was a real professionalism about that culture. I know we stayed in Albert Park at a hotel, and yeah, it was just the coaching was outstanding. It was probably the highest level I've ever been exposed to. Yeah, there was a number of great players, and to play on the G was a once in a lifetime. Well, hopefully not once in a lifetime, but so far once in a lifetime experience, and yeah, that was very special on grand final day, and the whole experience was just very memorable and special to me. So I'll be forever grateful for that. But yeah, what a game! It was very high quality, and yeah, the biggest ground I've ever played on. But yeah, it was good to play the way I did. I was pretty happy with the way I came out of that, and my team got up in the end, which was good.
So you got your playing jumper presented by Jack Higgins for that competition. What was that like meeting Jack and getting to talk to him and all that?
It's pretty normal actually, because I've met him a lot of times. Yeah, me and Higo trained together quite a bit in the summer. I mentioned Anthony Phillips, who's the man that is a bit of a guru. He's a great man, and he really helps out a lot of us with the specifics and the little things in AFL footy and our little craft. And he's a bit of a mentor to a lot of people, and Higo's probably his favourite. Higo's attached to him for a number of years, and does so many sessions with him, and I've tried to follow that, so I've got to know Higo quite well, which is good. And yeah, he's a bit of a character, isn't he? No, he's good though. Yeah.
So, say going up, so you're obviously on the rise to AFL standard. Do you have any advice for like younger kids that are looking to take the AFL pathway?
Yeah, I mean, I could sit here and talk for 2 days if I had to give all the advice, but I think something that's really important is being willing to learn and adapt, and never being satisfied with where you're at. Not to the point where you stress yourself out and you put pressure on yourself, but you got to have an element of competitiveness that drives you to push past those hardships. And you know, when you don't want to train, you're fatigued and things like that. You gotta know your body and know how you feel. It's really important that you know what it takes to get to the destination. And you know that classic saying, "Trust the process." You got to invest in the process, and that process involves a lot of things. And I think being willing to learn and adapt and grow is really important. And what will help that is asking questions, seeking advice, not being arrogant, being really humble, and you know, just never being satisfied with where you're at, and never thinking that it's over. So yeah, I think those are some really good points. But yeah, listen to your coaches, seek advice, reach out to people, believe in yourself. A lot of people don't get to where they want to because they're too afraid to speak out, or they're too that they don't believe in themselves. So you know, I've had to do things sometimes that make me really uncomfortable, but you know, it's all for the better. Like, you put yourself out there in an uncomfortable situation, you can only learn and grow for that experience, whether it's positive or negative. So yeah, put yourself out there. that's quite a lot. But yeah.
So thanks, Will, for coming on for this week's episode, and best of luck for the draft coming up.
No worries, boys. Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Will.